Hi, I'm Lee Ehrenberg, and I'd like to welcome you to another event of The Living Room. The following program was recorded at the Santa Monica Public Library and is brought to you in collaboration between the library, the Friends of the Library, CityTV, and the California State Library. Now sit back and enjoy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. How many actors are there out in the audience right now? There's a couple. And by actors, I mean, I think maybe we can turn the volume down a little.
Can you speak loudly, please?
Yeah, I'm going to try to, but right now I think the microphone is good. We're just getting the levels worked out. So we have a couple of pros, which is great. I'm going to call upon them. But how many of you feel like acting tonight? Good. Anybody else feel like getting out of their chair and trying some participatory activity tonight? Great. That's acting, right? How many of us think about the roles that we play in life? All the time we're acting. We wear certain costumes to fit the occasion, don't we? We speak in certain languages and with certain phrases and with certain tones of voice based on the role that we're playing, whether it's father or daughter or mother or son or husband or wife or employee or employer or freeway driver, right? I mean, we're always playing roles. And so this idea tonight that we can all be actors if we want to be is an invitation to you to participate. It's a lot of fun. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do it though. Okay, that's the key. The key is if you want to sit and witness and be a spectator, that's great. But my hope is that we can be spect-actors as well as spectators. That word spect-actor is not my own creation. It's one of my very important teachers whose name I would like to introduce to you right at the start because we're actually going to use some of his very innovative techniques. He's a Brazilian man named Augusto Boal who passed last year in his mid to late 70s. I'm not sure his exact age. But Boal came up with this system for creating theater with communities called Theater of the Oppressed. Which sounds a little awful, doesn't it? Because who wants to be oppressed, right? But in fact, this theater is much more liberatory. It's much more about freeing ourselves, much more about engaging with each other, much more about asking some of those dark, mysterious questions, some of those questions that have been sort of unanswerable for maybe a good part of our life or not. Some of those questions that personally we have, but really collectively we share with many, many other people. These activities that Boal created enable us to use words, use images, use interaction to kind of rehearse, for a reality that may come later. So tonight we're gonna play if you want to play. And the wonderful question that was posed by the organization that sponsored tonight's program, who will I be when I grow up, right? How many of you knew that was the question? How many of you are here because that is the question? Okay. How many of you already know the answer to that question? Oh, that's good, that's good. What I'd like to do to start our work, because we have such a limited time, and my goal is to lead you through a number of different activities that will enable us to respond to each other's work and ideas and questions, to have dialogues with each other. I call them public-private dialogues. In other words, The two of you can be talking while the two of you are talking, the two of you, and we're all having these dialogues. Nobody's listening, so they can be private. We're not going to ask you what you talked about. But we'll ask some probative questions. We'll ask some questions that might get at some challenging responses, some things maybe we've thought about, but maybe we haven't formed them into words yet, or formed them into images. The key thing is to have some fun. That's really the key thing tonight. And to engage and to become our own community for the short time that we occupy this space together tonight. Okay? So, to begin, it's always best, I find, if I use myself as a model. But I'm going to need maybe a volunteer to come join me so I can show you a little bit of what we're going to go into in just a quick second. So, great, come on up. And it looks like that stairwell might be more easily accessible than that one, or not. So, cool. So in a moment, we're gonna ask people to stand up. By the way, who's going to be willing to stand up again, just so I see a show of hands? Okay, great. That's enough, actually. And it's Bonnie. Bonnie, thank you, Bonnie. So I'm going to ask Bonnie first to be a sculpture. Okay, she's going to be a piece of clay, all right? And I'm going to be the sculptor as the demonstrator, okay? In a moment, we're all going to be able to assume this relationship, those of us who want to participate. The question, let's think of what a good question might be. What is my purpose in life? That's a pretty deep question, right? I'm going to use Bonnie as this piece of clay, and I'm going to sculpt you. And with your permission, I might move you, or I might show you how to move. I may show you an expression, perhaps, but I'm going to try not to talk to her. It's purposely nonverbal, okay? So what was the question I asked myself? What's my purpose in life? Okay. Now, can you hold that for as long as you can hold that? And Bonnie, you rest when you need to rest. And the key to holding an image like that is to keep breathing, okay? Because, okay, do we see that image? Now the question is, what do you see? Okay, and this might be an opportunity for microphones to be passed. So we're going to try this tonight, and I'm going to help too. If you think you would like to offer a response to what you see here, what is this sculpture? What do you see? Who would like to offer an idea? Oh, good.
Something extreme and something very urgent.
Extreme and urgent. Great.
She looks like she sees her child running in front of a car.
So what is that? That's an image, a child running in front. So what does that suggest as far as an emotional response then?
Panic.
Panic. Okay, so my purpose in life is to panic. Uh-oh.
Reaching out for help.
Reaching out for help. Okay?
Reaching out. Singing opera.
Singing opera.
Singing opera. And you said?
Reaching out to help.
To help. Reaching out to help, which, as the author of this sculpture, you hanging in there, Bonnie? You're doing great. You can relax for a quick second. Relax for a quick second. Just shake it out. Just shake it out. You should, right, bravo. Okay. That was kind of the thing I was thinking about, but urgent and necessary and extreme is definitely the feeling I'm having in my response to my world now. So I love that, yeah.
Terror.
Terror. There is a bit of concern about our world and raising children. I've got 2 teenagers, which is crazy, you know. I mean, it's insane. Let's thank Bonnie again for that, okay? So not to belabor any of that, because we could go on and on with all sorts of interpretations, but how wonderful that you were the ones who informed me of what I think my purpose in life might be. So noticing that age-old phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words, we're actually kind of helping to respond to each other. So I'd like to invite some people to stand up, if possible, who would like to try image theater. And if you would like to come up on stage, it's much easier to see you. Notice people are going to get a chance to respond to the work as well. So even if you're not sculpting or being sculpted, you can definitely participate and give us some feedback and be a witness to what is happening tonight. So let's see if we can get a good 8 to 10 people up on stage. Whoever would like to try this. Was it fun, Bonnie? It was not bad. It wasn't scary. You want to give it a try? Come on up, come on up. You don't have to say anything. That's the marvelous thing, right? Come on up. It's a nonverbal activity. There's something very democratic about this, isn't there? Right? Nobody's telling anybody what it actually has to be. The beauty of art is that it's in the eye of the beholder, right? We each get to appreciate it or not per our own taste, per our own interest, per our own background. Yay, thank you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 2 more people just to have 8 because... Great, Judith. And 1 more person then. Great, come on up. So, we'll give each of you a chance to sculpt and be sculpted, if that's all right. Judith, why don't you come sit over here, and why don't we just introduce ourselves? You are?
Raleigh.
Hi, Raleigh, and this is Judith.
Bruno.
Hey, Bruno.
Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Art.
Art.
Josie.
Josie.
Desiree.
Desiree.
And Ardeshir. Ardeshir.
Ardeshir. Nice to meet you. Okay, so let's begin. Why don't we have the 2 of you working together, and why don't, Ardeshir, you start as the sculpture, and I'm sorry, Desiree, you'll be the sculptor, and Josie, thank you for wearing your tag there. You'll stand up. Will you guys work together? Will the 2 of you work together, and the 2 of you work together, okay? So, sculpture, sculptor. So the sculptures are going to face the audience. So Ardeshir, you can face the audience. Terrific. Why don't you be a sculpture?
Okay.
And Judith, why don't you be a sculpture here and remind me?
Raleigh.
Raleigh, you come here and you can sculpt her. Now, all right, no, I'm going to give you a prompt now. And again, this is a nonverbal interaction. You can sculpt, and if you don't want them to touch you, let them know, okay? Or if it's okay, that's fine. Or show them, but try not to talk to them. So the question is, who will I be when I grow up? Can you create an image of that? Can you create that statue right now? You're the sculpture, right? And you're the sculptor. Or would you like to reverse that?
Yes.
Okay, you be the Who will I be when I grow up, Bruno? Okay? Beautiful. And sculptors, you can sit down when you're done. That will indicate to us that. And if he's got a bad knee, yeah, that's okay. Let her know. It's totally all right. Okay, marvelous. You done? Sculptors, sit down once you're done, so that will indicate you're finished. We'll understand. Beautiful, right? I mean, we got some very provocative images here, and we'll just behold our images for a moment before what we'll do here, because I think it's worthwhile, again, and oh, you're involved, so I'm going to have to do this. Oh, you want to do it? Thanks. Great. So we just look at our images for a second, and the question was, who will I be when I grow up? Why don't we ask the 3 of you, do you remember where you are in your body right now? Because I'm going to ask you to relax so you can come back to it in a second. We'll just leave Ardeshir. Okay, so just relax for a second. You can sit down. And now let's look at this one. Let's give some feedback to this image. Who will I be when I grow up? What do you see there? A beggar. A beggar. Raise your hand because we'd like to get this into the microphone. So, right, okay. Bonnie? Hold one second. Hold on.
A server.
A server. Like a hors d'oeuvre. A server. Interesting.
Offering an advice.
Offering an advisor, maybe.
A
Interesting.
confident person.
Someone with a lot of confidence. That's who you're going to be. That's a reflection on this image. Yeah.
A
A
cynic.
yogi.
A cynic.
A cynic.
I think it represents giving the way his hand is.
Say it again.
Giving, a giver.
A giver. A giver. Marvelous. And last one here.
Somebody who's getting the last word in. I
Getting the
told you
last
so.
word in. How did this feel to hear some of these responses?
Actually, a few of them,
Stand up. And let's bring the mic down here if we can. Good.
a few of them was really what I had in mind, because Arduous seemed like he is confident and he has an open face, and seemed to me that it was a person who would reach out to the world. And someone
is this
used
an
the
answer
word
for you?
serve.
Is it an answer
yes,
for you?
so
Good.
that's what I took from him.
Good.
Or I felt from him, and that's what I tried to portray.
Wonderful. Okay. Can we have you stand up and if you need to resculpt him a little
think
bit,
so.
that's fine. Thank you. You can, bravo to the sculpture. It's fine, and she's adjusting this, and that's totally great. Wonderful. Okay, when you have a response to this image, please. Sure, we'd love to hear, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Someone going forward with gusto.
Moving forward with gusto.
Someone who enjoys dancing.
A joyful dancer. Yeah? I'm a winner.
A candidate for an office making a speech.
All right. We have a politician, maybe. That's who you'll be?
Somebody that wants to look to the future and discard the past.
How interesting. Wow. Last one.
Somebody who's very sure of himself. It's like he's a little bit better than the rest of us.
Ooh, wow. Will you come and give us some feedback as the artist of this creation here, and as the respondent to that question?
Two people were spot on. Yes, moving forward, forgetting the past. And I was trying to portray a dancer, that if I could come back in a second life, that's what I would be.
Marvelous. Wow, thank you. Wonderful. Terrific. Okay. And thank you for a brilliant sculpture. Right? Interesting.
A ballet dancer in practice.
That's what I was going to say. Like a ballerina. Yeah.
A ballerina. Uh-huh.
Someone who has her vision in front of her and she is looking and working toward that vision.
Working towards a vision. It's high, too. It's above. And the hand back here leading somebody, I'm not sure. No? Yeah. One sec.
Somebody with really high expectations of themselves.
Wow, interesting. One more.
Somebody was looking at the past, but is coming to peace with the past, looking at in a high.
Wow, beautiful. What do you think? Wow. Bruno, yeah? And thank you, you can, oh boy, that was hard, wasn't it? No. That was okay, yeah.
A very intuitive audience, congratulations. No, yes, a dancer, and certainly looking forward. You know, I think all dancers sort of have to bring light to the future in a way, and are confident. Somebody said, think a lot of themselves. Certainly dancers aren't shy. So
are you
that's
leading
it.
too?
I would say.
Are you leading?
A dance.
That left this.
Really, what I thought was a dance.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Excellent. And who will I be when I grow up?
Astrologer.
An astrologer.
Inspiring others.
Inspiring others.
Looking upward and forward.
Upward and forward. Yeah.
She's reaching for the stars.
Reaching for the stars.
A leader, someone with a vision saying, look, here it is. This is my vision.
And it's up, too. We're going to have to climb for it. Yeah. Last one? Raleigh?
Well, I was thinking about kind of a study in extremes that I'm settled back into myself, but I'm always kind of looking for changes and looking to go someplace new and different I haven't been, to reinvent myself. And yet there's a silliness about this too, that not to take myself too seriously. And pretty much, you know, what people's observations were pretty right on. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Okay. So now we're going to try another set, because the sculptures get to be the sculptors now, and the sculptors get to become the sculptures. And what I'd like to do is I would like to split them in half, okay? So you're going to be sculpting now, and so can the two of you, this group and this group, stand up here. I'm going to give you a different prompt than I'm going to give to them, okay? All right. Who's sculpting? You're sculpting, yes. and you're sculpting. I would like you to create a sculpture of how you feel about the world today, okay? And I would like you guys to stand up, and who's sculpting here? You're sculpting and you're sculpting. I would like them to sculpt a sculpture of what they imagine their legacy is going to be, what they're going to be leaving for the world at some point. Okay, try not to talk. Yeah, beautiful. So two sculptures over there could be called How I Feel About the World Today, and two sculptures right here are What is My Unique Legacy? Legacy, what I'm leaving behind. Hang in there, statues. Relief is on its way. Okay, Judith, we good?
Okay.
Okay, so let's just behold these 4 images. And why don't we ask the 3 of you to sit down, and if you can you hang in there for another couple seconds? Okay, let's give some responses to this. This is how I feel about the world today. Sadness.
We're never going to get it right.
Never going to get it right.
Agony.
Agony.
Depression.
Depression. Worried.
Despair.
Despair. Ashamed.
Why did I miss so much?
Say it again, please.
Why did I miss so much?
Why did I miss so much?
Very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Fear.
Fear.
Can't stand to see what's really going on.
Can't stand to see what's going on.
I have a lot of hope.
Help?
Yes, a lot of hope that everything is going to be all right.
Hope
and
and help, yeah?
hope and health. Yes,
Okay, beautiful.
Everything is going to be okay, and we will improve, and everything is going to be okay.
Marvelous, thank you. And not to keep you in more agony, hang in there. You can relax. That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Well, it was amazing. I didn't have any hope in that poster, but otherwise every single person, said exactly what I had in mind.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's move on to our next image. Thank you. And if you would like to sculpt her to make sure she's doing it, it's pretty close there, yeah?
All tied up in knots.
Tied up in knots.
Total confusion. It's like a maze.
Can we finally all come together? Can we come together? Yeah. In yoga, this is actually, does anybody know what that is? That's the eagle, right?
Not sure which way to go.
Not sure which way to go.
Word is twisted.
Say it again for us.
The word is twisted.
The world is twisted. Any others? One more up there, Bonnie.
Fly like an eagle.
Fly like an eagle. Marvelous. Thank you. Wonderful.
I'm well aware that it's the eagle pose, but what I had in mind is that everything is sort of bent out of shape and twisted today, and I'm not very happy with some of the things I see out there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay. Now this question is, what is my legacy? What do I give? What do I leave behind?
A benediction.
A benediction.
Yeah, I was going to say basically it looks like a prayer, benediction of peace.
Peace. Mm-hmm.
None of it was my fault.
Love it.
Stand up tall and be counted.
Stand tall and be counted. Wonderful.
I've done what I can.
I've done what I can.
People will remember my words.
Say it again.
People will remember my words.
My words. Interesting.
Stop. Out of the way.
Stop. Out of the way.
Strength.
Strength. A last one?
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Thank you. Thank you, Bruno. Thanks. And will you tell us a little bit?
I think I wanted to show the strength of leaving a legacy of I can do it and you can too.
Marvelous. Wonderful. Wonderful. And Raleigh, Judith, sculptor as you would like. Stick 'em up. This is a legacy.
To me, it looks like let the sunshine in.
Let the sunshine in. Mm-hmm.
How about stop the world, I want to get off?
Stop the world, I want to get off.
I have done all I could.
I have done all I could.
My life is open.
My life is open. It's an opening. I'm as open as I can be, yeah. All right, lovely, wonderful. Would you like to share? Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
That was amazing. The legacy that I would like to leave behind is an openness and where people are open. But it's amazing what you said about let the sun shine in, because I have a little logo that I use on a lot of things, personal things, that's a sunrise. So that was very, very intuitive.
Yeah,
so
marvelous.
thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. And so as not to presume that you're the only 8 that are going to participate, I'm going to welcome you back, but I'm going to ask you actually now if you'd like to go back to your seat, and we'll transition to what you might recall me calling before a private-public dialogue, or a public-private dialogue. In other words, you can sit with whomever you would like to sit. If you don't feel like engaging in a dialogue with someone, then don't. But by all means, I'm inviting you to participate and talk to somebody. It could be someone you know. It could be somebody you don't know. But here is this 3 to 4 minute moment now where I'd like to see us all engage in conversation. The question, the statement that you can fill in is, I'm here tonight because ... fill in the blank. And then we just saw a lot of images. We just heard a lot of response to these images regarding who will I be when I grow up? What is my legacy? How do I feel about the world today? So this is a chance to now, each of us, just to dialogue with somebody within 2 feet of us. So please pick somebody nearby if you'd like, and have a conversation. Do you want to talk? Yeah, with me? Okay. How do you... You're here tonight because? We're going to suspend these dialogues now. I know, it's wonderful. We'll have a chance. We're going to have a chance to do more dialogue tonight, believe me. It's good. This is not the end of it. And we go again, we move from this sort of verbal to nonverbal. We're now going to move, the actor's instrument is our bodies and our voices and our minds and our senses, and they're also our emotions. I think it's one of the things that got me so hooked into this. It was a place where I could go in a very safe rehearsal space and a stage space, and I could grieve and rage and be euphorically happy and tremendously sad and fearful, and all of these emotions were permitted. In fact, they were sought in terms of the art of the actor. So we're going to play tonight. We're going to do some role plays. And these role plays are going to take place seated, so you don't even have to worry about getting up. We're ultimately going to ask for a couple of volunteers maybe to come up. But for now, I want to assure you, you don't have to worry about being seen if you don't want to be seen. But I do want everybody to do this. And I would like everybody to give it a try because it's fun, I think. And it is a place that we don't necessarily always let ourselves go to. Think of how important it is to be cool, to keep it, under control, right? We're not allowed to let things kind of boil up or spill out or tear up. I mean, it just is not appropriate in most of the settings and relationships that we have in life. So I just want to sort of throw that out there, that in the theater, that's kind of what we're after. That's what makes it so engaging. That's why we like to watch, isn't it? It's that emotional connection. It's that affective response. Not just the intellectual response, but the emotional response that really draws us in, okay? And if we're all participating, then nobody's looking foolish because we're all doing it, right? Okay? It's very important that actors like athletes do some kind of warm-up to get there because we're talking about being somewhat larger than life up here. It is a projection of a persona that takes place on stage and radiates out into this audience and impacts us and makes us think and feel and desire. I would like to, who would like to come up and be a volunteer with me? Would you? Me? Yeah. We're gonna demonstrate. In fact, in not even doing it on stage, okay, so that we can, well, let's do it on stage. Why don't we? You wanna? We'll go
Depends on
off
what you're
this.
gonna do.
Yeah. It's not gonna be horrible. I promise. Your name is?
Susan.
Susan, great. Let's hear it for Susan, right? Wonderful. Now this is something we're all gonna get to try in a second, okay, with a partner. And Susan, all we're gonna do first is just count, okay, from 1 to 40.
Okay.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9,
10,
11,
12,
13,
14,
15.
16.
Anybody sleeping yet? Okay. Pretty dull script, right? It's a pretty boring script, right? What we're going to do is we're going to work out an emotional arc, a subtext, right? In other words, meaning underneath the words, because I could say to Susan, I'm sorry. Or I could say to Susan, I'm sorry. Or I could say to Susan, I'm sorry, right? And the words haven't changed. What has changed is the subtext, the meaning underneath the words, okay? So we're going to do this number exercise, and you guys get to do it too in a quick second. And from 1 to 10, we're going to play with happiness, okay? Why play with happiness? Because if you're not really feeling happy, what should you do? Act as if you're happy. It's just pretense, right? We're just faking it. Have fun with it. Why not? Right? Then we're going to switch to angry. Now, I have to share with you that I do this activity in juvenile detention facilities, and I've done a lot of work with gang prevention programs, anger management. There can be no physical contact during this particular portion, right? And it's always interesting with my college students, how many of you get physical when you get angry and the hands go up? Well, this is a good activity for you because can you get enraged, counting 11 to 20? By all means, but just don't touch. Don't get physically violent. From 21 to 30, we'll explore sadness. And from 31 to 40, we'll go right back to happy again. Okay?
Can we repeat some of what we did there? Here?
All we have to do is communicate to each other with numbers. We already memorized this script. How wonderful. Right? You ready? 1.
Who's going to start?
1.
Oh, okay. 2.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7.
8.
9.
10.
11.
12.
13.
14.
15.
16.
17. 19.
20.
21.
22.
23.
24.
25.
26.
27.
28.
29.
30.
31.
32.
33.
34.
35.
36.
37.
38.
39.
30. 40.
Yeah! Yay. That wasn't horrible, was it? Was it horrible?
No.
You didn't die?
No.
Right? We're okay. We're still living. Was it fun?
Do I have to do it again?
No. Yeah, sure. Now we can all do it here, down here. Yeah, please, by all means. If we're all doing it at the same time, there's only me that's watching and maybe a couple of television cameras, but but please have fun with this, okay? Because it's really just a warm-up. It's really just as a segue to doing some other things. The idea being is we want to kind of get our emotions involved in the theatrical work that we're going to do with each other. Any questions? Does anybody need a partner? Tim, right behind you, is a partner there. Wonderful. Anybody else? You guys, you have a partner now? Great, wonderful. Okay, is anybody confused about what to do? It's right here. I'll say action, and we can all start at the same time. Okay? And happy, angry, sad, happy, action. Do you want to be my partner again? I won't put you through it, unless you want to. It's just, we'll demonstrate for everybody. Yeah? Come on back up. Come. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Who? Everyone, like to share with you one or two more. We'll see. Maybe probably just one exercise again to do with this. This is your partner now, okay? So we're partners. And thanks to Susan. She's back up. Now this time, watch what happens. Instead of worrying about numbers and worrying about what's the next emotion? Right? This is just a reactive activity in which I repeat a phrase and Susan repeats a different phrase, and we use whatever emotions come in the moment. Okay? And my phrase is help me. And Susan's phrase, and I wonder if you probably just hold that so you have a microphone. Susan's phrase is help yourself. So we're just going to repeat those phrases.
That could have so many meanings.
Well, that's the whole point here, right? Help me. Help me.
Help yourself.
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 Switch. Now she has to say help me. I get to say help yourself. Help. You say.
But am I
You ask.
got the same reason?
Whatever. No, how do you know my reasons?
No, I mean, you said.
Well, you do it however you need to do it. Yeah.
Help me.
Help yourself.
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 Help me. Help yourself.
Okay. You're great. You're great. Thank you. So what's the point? Why are we doing this? Does anybody have an idea? Anybody want to respond? I mean, I think it's kind of important. Bonnie, Bonnie, you want to? I actually would like to hear why might we be doing this? Bruno, you had a thought there. What's the reason for doing something as preposterous as what we just did?
Learn to listen to each other.
Did it look like we were engaging each other there? By all, did you feel engaged there with me? It was.
I was trying to think of different scenarios of what I would have been doing.
Yeah.
To say that, like, I wanted help in the kitchen or
Right.
help me to get, something down or.
Notice her natural idea was to create circumstances. And we're going to go there in a second. We're actually going to create circumstances. What else?
Well, it seems like you are responding to each other emotion.
We're just responding emotionally to each other, right? Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, Judith?
That we do have control. When we want to act happy, we could, or when we want to act angry, we could, or sad. We do have control.
We have emotional dexterity, right? We
Emotional
actually know
dexterity.
that these emotions are present for us, and we can, this is my family. So they always say, "Stop acting." I'm not acting. I'm really angry. No, you're acting right now. And it's true. It's like I've learned how to use emotions as an expressive tool, as an actor, and they can be very helpful in some cases not. But anybody else want to share?
To get past the way we hold ourselves back, to feel freer to just be ourselves and express
Good.
ourselves.
That's really the hope here, is just to feel liberated, to feel, hey, I can play. This is stuff we used to do when we were little kids. We could pretend in a heartbeat. You be that person, I'll be that, and we could really go for it, right? Yeah.
Sometimes it would be just, not what I was doing, but people might do it just to see what the reaction of the other person might be.
So with all of this said now, with your partner, one person say, help me, the other person say, help yourself, and after a while I'll say, switch. But have fun with this. Get emotional. Why not? We're only here for another 40 minutes or so, okay? Everybody still has their partner to work with? Good. Action! Help me! Help yourself! And switch. The other person says, help me now. Okay?
Help me.
And cut. Cut. You two were fabulous. Could I get you to stand? Would you stand up? Come on, come on. Your name is?
Albert.
Albert in Raleigh, right? Okay. We're gonna take it right from the floor here. Albert and Raleigh. Whoever would like to say help me first, begin. I'm just right behind you. Go ahead. I'll hold it for you.
Help me.
Help yourself.
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 Switch.
Help me.
Help yourself.
Help me.
Help yourself.
Help me.
Help yourself.
Marvelous. Let's hear it for Albert and Raleigh. Wonderful. Can I call on another couple, maybe? No. No. Okay. Don't want to risk it too much there. How did that feel? Was that fun? Yeah? Okay. Because now what I would like to do, remember I was saying that these are merely warm-ups, leading us towards a role play, okay? And before we enter into the role play, I'd like you to kind of, you're still going to work with the same partner. I'd like you to kind of go inward for a second, and maybe even if you want to close your eyes, but the idea is I want you to think of a desire that you have that maybe you haven't been able to fulfill yet in your life. Going back to this question, who will I be when I grow up? It speaks to a kind of desire for a becoming of self, right? So what is this desire? What do you want? Okay? It's a longing in a way. You're longing for something, aren't you? And, I mean, we all are. There's something that I want. And if you can think clearly about what that is right now, saying it to yourself maybe, and what I'd like you to imagine or not, you don't even need to imagine it, what are the voices in your head that are keeping you from going after that desire? And whose voices are they? What voices do you hear? You have this desire, you want something, and you haven't quite been able to get it in your life, and something's impeding it. What are the voices? What are the, not enough money. You'll never have enough, right? That was Lydia's gesture to me, right? No, that's okay, but that's a perfect response. Because it's not the money itself, it's the voice that says, you're not going to have enough money. You never have. You don't know how to make money. Right? Think of all those. Where do those voices come from? Whose voices do they belong to? Right? Okay? Because now we can kind of go into some personal storytelling. And again, I'd like to spend maybe just a couple of minutes with your partner sharing. Again, this is private. I'm not going to ask you necessarily to bring this on stage or to share this if you don't want to. We may be fortunate to have a story emerge from this. But the idea tonight was we came with a question. Who will I be when I grow up? What is that desire? And please, if you will, maybe reiterate that in the most specific way you can. And if you can talk in terms of the obstacle, the conflict, the voice of antagonism. Because in drama, we know there's no drama without conflict. right? Okay, so can we just have a little conversation about that, just for a couple of minutes between the two of you, okay? So go ahead, have a little conversation about this. Okay. And if I might, you'll notice in this process, there's some experiential things that we're doing here. There's some analytical things that we're doing here. There's also, some techniques, some technical things of, utilizing this or doing it this way. But really, this process is a mixing of the analytical, the experiential, and the technical. And so now, taking this dialogue that you've just had, now let's move it into the technique of putting something together as a bit of drama, all right? And between you and your partner now, if you'll decide which of you is the protagonist. In other words, your story is a protagonist story, and so is yours, and so everybody's the protagonist here. The protagonist is our main character who wants something or is journeying towards something, so all of us are protagonists right now. But between you and your partner, if you'll decide, I'm going to be A, the protagonist, and B will be the antagonist here, okay? So can you do that really quickly? Decide who A, protagonist, it's the protagonist story right now. And the B person is going to help the A person with their story. I'm going to reiterate that. I'm going to restate that. The question was, what is a protagonist? Oftentimes, we hear a protagonist is the good guy. Well, Al Pacino as Scarface was the protagonist of that movie. He wasn't such a good guy. So what we say when we're talking about a protagonist is a main character in a story, a principal character whose perspective we, the audience, are taking. We're empathizing mostly with that person. By empathy, I mean what? We're feeling with them, not for them, just with them. We're identifying with their struggle. Okay? How many of you are the A's in your group? You're going to be the protagonist story. Can I see a show of hands again? Good. All right. Here's what I would like you to do. I'd like you to imagine then, remember I asked you, what is that voice that's keeping you or saying things to you from getting what you want? Right? That's your voice, okay? and you're the protagonist, right? And you're the end. So the idea here is to actually get in a dialogue with that voice of antagonism. Antagonism is the person against the protagonist, okay? So this is this opportunity for you to actually articulate to your opposer, your oppositional force, what it is you want and why you want it. And if you are the antagonist, by all means, do not give in to them. Because we said this is a rehearsal for reality. Perhaps we'll take something with us tonight like, you know what? I think I know what I need to do now to get what I want in my life, right? Or to do that thing I've always desired doing, but I haven't because fill in the blank. So the idea here is we're going to generate a role play experience. A, wanting something, and B, negating that, trying to keep A from getting it. And we're all going to do it at the same time. Okay? Any questions about that? We're acting now, so we're role-playing. Feel free to say what you would like to say. If you are the antagonist, if you're B and you need a little bit more information from A, like, who am I? Oh, I'm your mother. Oh, okay. Or I'm your husband, or I'm your brother, or I'm your best friend. Okay? Let them know what that relationship is. Okay? Any questions? I'm going to say action in a minute, and then the idea is just to enter into a dialogue. And if you're the oppositional force, really give it to them. Really make them work for what they want. Okay? Action. Yes. Do you know what he wants?
Yes.
And
Well, he doesn't know what he wants.
are you A?
Yeah, I'm A.
And do you know what you want?
Barely.
Well, have you articulated it?
That I want to stay focused to achieve my goal.
And you have a problem staying focused.
Trouble staying focused.
So let's work on him together. You
right.
can't keep your focus. You're doing too much. So
I think I can stay with one thing.
like what? Like what? For instance, what? What are you going to do? Which one? Pick one. You can't because you got too many things going on. How come?
So are you pushing him?
I'm pushing
to
him.
explore, or
That's
are you
correct. I'm
going
trying.
against
I'm
what?
going against him purposely to have him articulate what he's going to do to not be so unfocused, if that's truly the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue. I don't know.
Does that make sense, what I'm doing right now?
I see it.
It's dangerous, isn't it? It's dangerous. I know. It's dangerous. This is so interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's engaged, huh? It's wonderful. It's very exciting.
See you come back for a library insert.
Oh, that would
where
be
all
fun.
this stuff.
I'm happy to do that sort of thing. I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to try to get some of this on stage, which would be really, if I could get a volunteer to take a story. I was just sort of looking to see who's engaged. Like these two look engaged. Yeah. 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 I actually, what I want to do is get several people on stage to help out with this story.
And then those two at the end.
Whose desire are we working on here?
Her desire.
What's your desire?
To start my own nonprofit.
And what's the voice?
I'm her father. My father telling me it's
How do you
terrible
feel
idea
about
and I
putting
really
that
wanna
up there? No way, no way. Because this is the goal now, is to see who might want to take their story into public, you know?
Not me.
Can I have 2 or 3 volunteers just to come join us on stage? We're going to work on Cynthia's story. Cynthia's volunteered her story, which is a huge thing. Okay. This is what we call sort of a forum theater experiment, or I like to sometimes call it a protagonist circle. It'll be a protagonist semicircle. So I need anybody who feels like coming up and helping us fill out these 2 or 3 chairs. Who would like to come up? Anybody who's maybe been up already? If you've been up, you'd like to come back, you'd like to act a little bit. All right. Now, without giving too much introduction to this, Cynthia's the protagonist of this story, and Jennifer is her antagonist, okay? And the idea here is to express your desire and get what you want and be that voice that is antagonistic to what she wants. And we'll just listen to this opening dialogue, okay? Go ahead. You'll share the mic, yeah.
I want a cause.
Why don't you just focus on what's going on in your life right now?
I want to dream a dream.
You can barely pay your bills. Why don't you just focus on what's practical?
I'm committed to being satisfied.
You're greedy. You're not satisfied right now?
I want to light the way for others to come.
Well, a million other people have done that too. Why don't you just start with yourself?
I'm passionate. I want to share that passion with the world.
Why don't we focus on day-to-day basic things?
Like
taking care of your family and paying your bills, all right? Like transportation. Let's be practical.
Being practical would be dying happy, having fulfilled a passionate desire.
Like what? Like what desire? Be specific. Tell us what it is you want to do. What cause you want to follow.
I want to write a book. I want to tell about my experience in the world and show others how to live life in the most positive way possible.
Nobody really cares about your book.
Okay, and let's hold right there. And remember, we're just acting. Hang in there. You okay? Okay, good.
Sorry.
Because now we're going to, no, that was great. Okay? Now watch what happens here. Watch what happens. Remind me your name.
Louisa.
Louisa is going to, I'll actually hold for both of you. Now turn to Louisa, Cynthia. And Louisa now becomes Cynthia. Do you understand what she wants? What Cynthia wants?
No.
You're unclear? Do you understand, Josie, what she wants? We're unclear. We're you really. She wants to write a book.
Finally, she said a book.
She wants to write a book. What else do you
just
want to do?
Ephemeral.
Be satisfied and share my passion.
Share passion.
For what?
Yeah. But wait, because now you have to, so you have to articulate that. The things that you're missing maybe from what she said, you can add in, and it may, this personal story now may get fictitious. It may become, it's what we're going to call it is collectivized. It's going to get channeled into your wants. What is your cause? What book do you want to write? And how can you now become the antagonistic voice to your own protagonist?
Got it.
Okay?
Yes.
Go ahead. You're the protagonist now who has the cause to write a book or to do something good, to leave a legacy. What's your cause?
My cause is making the city of Santa Monica work.
And you're going to write a book about it.
Well, I'll write vignettes about the few successes I've had to try to, actually, I really do want to do this. I want people to understand that you can get things done at City Hall.
Stand in line. Many others have gone before you.
I'll hold it.
Oh, but I've gotten things done.
Have you researched it? Checked the internet?
Don't do internet. Do good old-fashioned telephone notes.
Have you got any money?
I'm retired. I have Social Security.
It's going to take deep pockets to realize that kind of a dream.
No, it doesn't. It takes working hard.
Like what?
Like making 6 phone calls to get the bus stop moved.
Interesting. Okay, and we'll hold that right there. Josie, come on over here just because I want you to sit next to Louisa. Now, guess what, see? It gets completely taken out of your hands. You just get to observe this story that you've started about, what's it about for us? Passion and cause and purpose and leaving something that's a change, a good mark, right? And that might include a book. Okay? You are that antagonistic voice now. And you are the protagonistic voice. I'll hold it for you. And we'll face out there. Let Josie, just bring your chair this way. Just okay. Great.
Okay.
So, your passion, your cause, what do you need to do? How can that be articulated in some form like a book or something?
Can we end the war and stop hunger? That's my passion.
How about picking one?
Why pick one?
Because my observation over the years has been you get too diversified and get nothing done.
But if we work together, we'll get a lot done.
One at a time.
Well, I disagree. I think we can do it all as we work together.
Okay, and then we'll hold right here and come with me. This is pause.
So it's my pause.
Yeah. Yeah, just speak and come closer together maybe. Yeah. Okay, you're Cynthia now.
Okay.
You've experienced her more than any of us have in terms of the dialogue. Yeah.
I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in the world.
How?
I want to be a light and show people that they don't have to stay in their rut that they're in.
It's none of your business.
I feel like if I can affect one person positively, that maybe we could all change.
Start with yourself.
I know I need to go further with myself, but can't I still be an inspiration for people taking the first step?
You can't take the first step without starting with yourself.
Maybe we could all start together.
Where are we going?
To a happy place.
And hold. This is tough. This is tough. This is tough work. Very good. Now, we'll complete the circle here by giving you the chance to be the protagonist again.
Okay.
Does it feel like it's still your story?
Yes.
Good. Are you hearing some things that are useful?
Yes.
Good. We'll put it back into a protagonist. You play the antagonist.
Okay.
Or if you would like to, you could choose one of the other ladies as an antagonist if you feel one was more of an antagonist than more so than another.
I'll choose Jennifer.
So you'll stick with Jennifer. Okay, go ahead. So just close together so we can hear both of you, all right? And now the goal is to articulate that desire and to sort of beat back that oppressive voice, right? Okay.
My goal is to light the way, to share information, and provide an education.
That's a pretty lofty goal.
That way it'll get accomplished. The higher I reach, the higher I'll go.
Why don't we be more practical and start with some very basic things?
I've lived a practical life. It's unsatisfying.
Look, you say these things, you're going to start it, it's not going to happen, you're going to be a failure.
Dying trying is a much better way to go than not trying at all.
Unless it kills you first.
Okay. And let's have a nice round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Question: did you hear a change in Cynthia's voice from the beginning, the first time she did it, to? And Bonnie, will you help one last time? What did you hear? What was the difference you heard? Give her some feedback. Just like we looked at those sculptures at the beginning and we gave feedback of an image, now we're giving feedback in a much more maybe personalized way. It's a little scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Confident.
There was more confidence,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
I'd say definitely more resolute.
More resolute.
Stronger.
Yeah. Were there some phrases that really stuck out for you, some language that you used?
Well, a story was starting to happen.
The story was starting to emerge, definitely.
And there was definitely a more of a defined purpose as opposed to a whole general idea.
More general, yeah. Interesting. How does that sound?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And again, this kind of work can go into all sorts of directions. And it's the kind of work that we typically might do over a full day's workshop or a full week of activities. And we call this, like I said at the beginning, Theater of the Oppressed, which is a strange name, but you can see how it does bring some issues to the fore. We start to hear those voices and we go, oh yeah, I don't like that voice. That gives me some real emotion, not just 12, 15, 18, right? I mean, there's some real stuff that starts to come up.
Well, is oppressed what used to be called inhibited?
It certainly could include,
We were concerned with inhibition.
it could certainly include inhibition, yeah.
Yeah.
And in your case, if I can share with our group, you know, this voice was an internal voice, not a father or a mother or a brother or sister or a husband or whatever. Right? That's okay to share. I mean, oftentimes we call that the cops in our own head that are policing our thoughts, right? And how do we dispel them? How do we put them to bed so that we can really go after those desires that in our heart of hearts we know really is our true purpose, our calling, what we're truly passionate about, what brings us to life, okay? So in closing, because unfortunately we're out of time now, I just want to share with you that I wish you all happy lives, and I wish you all a lot of purpose and a lot of connection and a lot of engagement and emotion and fun and all sorts of good things. It's really been a pleasure tonight to participate with you, and thank you so much for all of the creativity that you've brought to our session tonight. So thank you.
Program was recorded at the Santa Monica Public Library and is brought to you in collaboration between the library, the Friends of the Library, CityTV, and the California State Library. That's a wrap on another episode of Cool People, Places, and Things here on the West Side. For CityTV, this is Lee Ehrenberg. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Great job, Lee.
Is that a cut? We got it? Okay, guys. All right, thanks. See ya.
Hey, where are you going?
I got some personal business to take care of. Come on, guys. Stop rolling, okay? I agreed to do a reality show about hot spots in Santa Monica, but I can't let you follow me to my living room.
Lee, it's a library. What's the big secret?
The big secret is that at Santa Monica Public Library, what you see is not just what's on the shelves. All right, it's against my better judgment, but let's, as they say here at the old biblioteca, let's check it out. I told you.
This place is incredible.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's got a super high green rating. It's Wi-Fi'd throughout. So the space actually feels alive, like a living room.
Hey, Lee!
Hey, what's going on, guys? How
Back
are you?
again.
Yeah, I'm always here, dude, huh?
Oh, did you get our tweet?
Yeah, is it 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock in the auditorium.
All right, dude, I'm gonna see you there, okay?
All right.
Later, later, bye.
Friends of yours?
No, those are librarians.
No way.
Yeah, they're all super cool. I even friended them on Facebook and I follow them on Twitter. That's how I know one of my favorite authors is speaking at 3 o'clock today in the auditorium. Hey, you want to grab a coffee and check it out?
Coffee.
Right this way, Miss First Time at the Library. It's a good latte, right?
That's my line. Can I at least have two
oh.
words?
I'm sorry, what, are you criticizing the writer?
No,
I
but
don't
I mean,
think
you had
you're
a
lucky to be in
paragraph.
this if you weren't good looking. Seriously. Heather, we put a lid on these. We can go inside, we can check out the latest CDs, DVDs, bestsellers.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great for you, but I don't live here. I live in the South Bay.
Do you got a California driver's license or a photo ID?
That's it?
That's all you need for a library card.
I'm out of here.
What? Where are you going?
Get my library card. Dwayne, let's go.
Are you going too? Ah, great, there goes the neighborhood. Hey guys, welcome to the It's Cool to Be Smart Club. Why don't you join the happening at Santa Monica Public Library, where the brains meet the beach at 6th and Santa Monica. Check us out today.